Hola, me llamo Sean. Hoy hablaremos sobre el béisbol de los White Sox de Chicago. Han perdido. Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast. We're going to talk about so much White Sox news on today's show. Coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO White Sox, our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Joey Christopoulos.
So much White Sox to get into today. I just can't wait.
Let's get into it, because honestly, we're brimming here with White Sox news. Today, in White Sox news, Jacob Amaya has elected free agency. Joshua Palacios has elected free agency. Oh. And Mike Clevenger has elected free agency.
Oh,
so, hey.
Do we have
nothing too surprising there, because most of those guys likely don't want to play with the White Sox or, want to explore every option that's possible. So, that's all on White Sox news today. We're done. We're supposed to do a 45-minute show, but today I think we're good on news. Okay, so that's all we're gonna do. I don't see any of these guys coming back. Maybe Palacios. I don't know if they liked him, but I think they like him maybe more than other teams do. So it's like, hey, Joshua, go see if the grass is actually greener. And I don't know if it is. I can see Palacios.
Little invite to spring training when we doesn't hurt anybody.
I could see it happening. Amaya probably not. I think Amaya likely will look for some other place that maybe he could start. Nicky Lopez got a job with the Cubs, so it's not impossible that a glove-first guy could get a job with a different team, especially one that, really likes defense. The bad man, I don't want to say too much because, again, I was very, very head over heels. They're never going to sign him. Then they signed him again. So I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. So
it's kind of a Beetlejuice situation at this point.
Truly.
Let's be real.
God, I hope not. That's probably fair to say. Please, let me get what I want.
Dear Santa.
Yeah.
If I can ask for one thing.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think we need to go demonic. We need to ask Beelzebub. It's October. We have to figure out some way to just have this not happen. And maybe it's a monkey paw situation, right? Maybe instead of Mike Clevenger being on the White Sox, I wish for that to not happen. He probably just ends up becoming like my landlord or something. It's definitely a situation that, like, even if I get what I want, I won't get what I want.
Coming to you live from Studio B. I'm Sean Anderson with my co-host Mike Clevenger. What's up, Mike?
Oh, God. No. Coming to you live from Studio B of the 7th Circle of Hell. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see what happens with those now elected free agents. I don't see any of them coming back, but if I had to say any of them, I could see Palacios maybe making his way back. On today's show, we will talk about a commenter's question. He said, I don't know if you guys can answer it. Felipe, buddy, we got time. I can answer anything you got. If you got a question, let us know in the YouTube chat. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We hit 90,000 subscribers and now have raced pretty much to 92,000 subscribers. So get on board before you miss out. Hawks are really fun. I think I'm going to try to connect the Hawks to the White Sox later on today. We're going to talk about Felipe's question, and then we're going to talk about an old friend. An old friend's in the news, and you know what? We miss old friends, okay? So let's have a good time here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Good to see Goop in the chat. Good to see Alec in the chat. Were you going to say something, Joe?
Oh, no, I wasn't at all.
You picked up the mic, and it seemed like you put it down. It's all good. But yes, Alex says you'd think every White Sox fan's famous last words on that man not coming back. We'll see what happens. And Goop says there are only 2 Beetlejuice movies, so maybe it's only 2 stints of that person.
I like this math.
I like the word math you used too. I don't know why I didn't say freak. Of that freak. But also, Michael Keaton, very well and alive. Just saw him posting a video today. So are we ruling out a third Beetlejuice movie?
I wouldn't rule that out.
Didn't the second one do well?
He came back and played Batman. Yeah, it actually did extremely well.
Right?
And I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Hey, and who doesn't want to give Tim Burton? Oh wait, did Tim Burton do it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to give Tim Burton a job? Hey. So there you go. Let's not rule out a Beetlejuice 3 yet, because really don't want. I mean, even during the season, if they need to break that glass in case of emergency, I could see it happening. I don't want to say no, because I really just need to see. I think another team is he needs to go to Japan or Korea before I can really say sayonara.
We all know the third movie in a franchise is always the baby. So Beetlejuice has a baby. It'll be like Beetlejuice's baby or something like that. It usually seems to be the third one. Like Little Fockers, it's usually where these franchises tend to trend.
Yeah, I was going to, Reinsdorf's baby. Instead of Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, Reinsdorf's baby. All right. Let's talk about Justin Ishbia. Let's get to Felipe Huerta's. Huerta? Yeah, Huerta. Felipe Huerta's question. This is over on Spotify. So if you're saying, hey, I don't know if these guys read the Spotify comments.
We do.
I'm unfortunately reading the Spotify comments. A shout out to Thunder God 72. Says this is the worst sports podcast ever. Thank you for taking the time for commenting. Felipe has a serious question. He's not sure about the answer to it, but maybe we can help. Felipe, I am here to help. With Ishbia taking over after the 2029 season, but still having some influence on the team now, is there a way we could pull an Ohtani-like deal where little of the money is being given in the first few years, with the remaining being paid out during Ishbia's ownership? Could it happen? Sure. I don't think it's the most ridiculous thing ever, but I think you really need to remind yourself of who Jerry Reinsdorf is. Jerry Reinsdorf, again, when this franchise has 60, and this is from @NoMoreFielders on Twitter, the White Sox, who have been around since 1901, have only played in 62 total postseason games. For reference, the Tampa Bay Rays, who have only been around since 1998, pretty much around my lifetime, and didn't have their first winning season until 2008, have played in 64 postseason games. And then also Just Max Production chimes in, Chicago White Sox postseason games from 1901 to 2025, 62. Houston Astros postseason games from 2017 up through eliminating the White Sox in the 2021 ALDS, and not even including past that, like the ALCS they played in 2021, or the World Series I think they won in 2022 and 2023, 61.
Oh, God.
So a 2017 to 2021 span beats the White Sox entire 125-year span. What you really need to remind yourself is this person is an owner. I think it's very weird to own people. It's a very weird title to have over yourself. And I think in a non-ish evil way, I don't think it's inherently evil. I think it's just capitalistic American evil, which is evil, but forgiven in this country. I think that Jerry likes that power he holds. And when you look at 1994, he had all the money in the world. The Bulls were doing very, very well. Joey, I think, right? Well, you were alive. Were the Bulls doing well in 1994?
Oh, they were doing all right, Sean.
Doing okay.
Back to you.
And Michael Jordan was on the White Sox, right? So this guy could have made some money. But he decides to strike the players out because of rising salaries.
Frank Thomas, by the way, having perhaps one of the greatest MLB seasons of all time. Too.
It
was
would have been his third.
He was going for he was going for a third in a row.
Yeah,
back to back.
So what does he do? He strikes out the players rather than working. He was one of the main proponents of striking out the players in 1994. He comes out of that lockout and goes and gives Albert Bell one of the largest contracts in history at that time, which was $62 million. As we know, they've barely gotten over that. Ashley gave us the translation in modern day money of the 2005 $75 million that they spent on their World Series team. It would be $125 million now. So what is $62 million
it was in
1995?
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money at the time. Oh. Now, the numbers have gotten so crazy when we talk about Ohtani's money, Juan Soto's money, that it's really hard to find the proportionate value of it. But at the time, $62 million was like, holy cow.
1995, and what was it? 62.
Yeah, 62, and I'm trying to think too, because that was before.
Oh,
So that was right before. By the very end, Jordan was making about $38 million a year, which back then was also crazy amount of money. 62 million. I'm pretty positive that was a bigger contract than anything handed out in the NHL. And I'm willing to offer, maybe outside of like Reggie White's money or something, that might have been the bigger contract handed out in the NFL at the time.
So I think if I did my inflation math right, $1 million in 1995. Actually, this was just 2000. In 1995 would be $2.1 million. So then if you times that by 62, it would be $133 million. And they've never gone over $75 million. So at least to Felipe's question, is it possible? Yes. But what needs to happen is Justin Ishbia to gain more influence. If you've watched Succession, it's similar, right? He needs to be in Jerry Reinsdorf's ear. I think the closer that deadline comes and creeps too, I think Justin will just gain naturally more and more influence. The more and more he sits behind home plate, and the more and more you guys see him, the more and more you guys like kind of connect Justin Ishbia and White Sox, I think the more and more pressure will be put on Jerry Reinsdorf. But right now, I don't think Jerry wants to attach himself to a deal that would be beneficial to a player. Jerry is very close to Alex Rodriguez, who now owns an NBA team. But like even then, like Jerry was somewhat in that negotiation for A-Rod back in 2001, whatever, but not really.
And there's always the trade myth that would have had Maglio on the move, and yeah.
Yeah, but not even A-Rod to the White Sox.
No, right, but they were
Sox, right?
discussing, yeah.
So I do think it would be possible, but I just don't see Jerry Reinsdorf signing his name to a contract that gives a player $100 million. I don't think that in his heart he wants that to happen. Even again, when the White Sox could have signed Manny Machado to a reasonable $300 million contract. I know it's absurd to hear, but it is a reasonable contract. I mean, if you're an NBA lottery pick and you are okay, like a Keegan Murray, he just got paid $118 million just because that's the way the cap works, right? They make so much money that they just are forced to give out large contracts to players that they can hold on to for a long time. Like, it's not absurd to give Manny Machado in a capless baseball $300 million, and he was $25 million short. Do you think Jerry Reinsdorf has $25 million? Do you think over 10 years, Jerry Reinsdorf can't make $100 million or $25 million work out and stretch out? It's truly about the person that he is, and I don't think that he wants to give in. I don't think he wants to give in for fans' sake, and I don't think he wants to give in for players' sake. And I'm not trying to be just connecting to 1994 when Steve Cohen wanted to become an owner. There was one guy that blocked Steve Cohen from being an owner. There was one guy who voted no.
Who is this hero?
I don't know. You want to take a guess? I'll give you an unlimited amount of guesses.
I
don't think you're gonna get it.
Might be Jerry Reinsdorf.
Oh, are you reading my mind?
Well, you know what's so funny? You know what's really funny about this really quick is that like when you're talking about like succession and you're talking about leverage and stuff like that, for like White Sox fans right now, it's easy to, when you think about Jerry and you think about how these dollars are moving around, and you think about even Steve Cohen, for a White Sox fan, it's really easy to be jaded, right? And think, well, when Justin Ishbia comes in, maybe we'll still have the same problems and maybe we'll still cap spending. But White Sox fans are actually in a leveraged position right now to try and turn the narrative into Justin Ishbia, the hero, for now, to put pressure, hopefully, on that transition period coming a little bit earlier. And then once Ishbia takes over the franchise, then we can roundly criticize him however we want. But right now, White Sox fans, it's got to be pro Justin Ishbia, right? Just to move the timeline up to hopefully have that transition of power go quicker, or maybe they'd end up spending some money.
Hey, hopefully Justin Ishbia and Chris Getz are becoming really good friends this offseason.
That's what it,
would be
100%.
Because then if Chris can go in a back channel and be like, hey, I really want this player, maybe Justin can make something work with the millions,
now we're talking
billions of dollars that he has. And just to go to billions real quick, just nail the point home about Jerry, and then we'll move on. This is from Sports Business Journal, who I think quoted the Tribune and Paul Sullivan. Mets owner Steve Cohen's limitless wallet was seen as the main reason why Jerry Reinsdorf was the lone no vote against Cohen's purchase of the team, and Reinsdorf's concerns were prescient, according to Paul Sullivan. The price of winning in MLB keeps going higher and higher, and all it has taken is one owner to upend the salary structure. Cohen's spending habits will force the rest of the owners to get on board and shell out more money for star players or just to compete against teams such as the Mets that have no qualms about going over the luxury tax to field a virtual all-star team. Cohen's spending spree won't be what kills baseball, but his benevolence will help player salaries escalate and might force some owners to think long and hard about cashing in their chips. Then some new owners will emerge and try to outspend their peers. That's exactly what we want. Boo-hoo. Cry into your piles of money, you two-sport owner.
If you can't hang, get out of the MLB ownership kitchen.
And then also, hey, Edward brings up the white flag trade.
Chill.
And Ryan, the owner, said anyone who thinks we can catch Cleveland is crazy. There you go. Time to take a break on the CHGO White Sox podcast. It's Thursday night. That means it's time for football. You want to sign up over at Bet365 using code CHGO365 when you bet $5. Whether that bet wins or loses, you get $200 bonus bets to bet on props, in-game wagering, spreads, totals, whatever you feel like. New customers, sign up with code CHGO365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. And tonight, they're offering a $10 safety net bet on a same-game parlay of 3 legs or more. And I'm going to give one out because I'm feeling generous. We're taking Jamar Chase over 75.5 yards. We're taking DK Metcalf 3+ receptions. He's done it in every game this year, and we'll take the under 49.5 because it's an AFC South game and it's a Thursday night game. But go check out the way to double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. And we want to let you know about our friends over at Mando, the place that will be keeping you smelling fresh this fall. Fall is here, and that means more sweat, whether you're by bonfires or putting in hard work. Don't let body odor sideline you. Do you know that feeling? It's game day. You've been working hard all day, and something stinks. It's your favorite jersey. It's actually yourself. Calls coming from inside the house. Regular deodorant doesn't cut it anymore, especially after a long day. There's a real game changer. Mando deodorant plus sweat control. This isn't just a cover-up. Mando is one stick. One stick. It does 2 jobs. Actually stops odor before it even starts. No more masking, just freshness. It is my go-to deodorant. Check out their starter pack. It's great for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. And for a special offer for our listeners, you could check out 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code CHGO at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. That's CHGO at shopmando.com. Tell them we sent you. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox podcast. We have some comments to get to. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel if you haven't already. We appreciate the familiar faces that continue to pop up. Edward's been here for a very long time. Goop's been here for a very long time. Ashley is a diehard Discord. Colton's been a newbie, but man, he's been here for every show.
Colton, Rookie of the Year.
Shout out to our guy. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Colson Eldridge of the comments.
Yeah,
we should call him.
Yeah, it's a real big year for Colston in Chicago, you know? So good to see. All right, let's get into Colston's question. I don't see Ishbia being a Steve Cohen, but hopefully he'll be leaps and bounds better than Jerry, or this team is destined to stay at the bottom. To compare, and again, I don't know the exact net worths. These are all Google net worths that people try to make up, you know? So I don't know necessarily what it will be, but this is at least just Forbes's number. Forbes estimates that it's at $6 billion, and that's just Justin. I don't think that includes his brother Matt. It doesn't include his father as well, who all will be a part of this. Matt's also worth 9.1. So together, the 9.1 and the 6. Joey, you're my math guy. 9 plus 6 is 15. So that's 15. Right now, Steve Cohen's was 14.6 when he took over. Now it's 22 billion. And if you have been paying attention to anything worldwide, billionaires actually just keep getting richer and richer, while poor people keep getting poorer and poorer, which is very weird. I thought it was like a whole trickle down thing.
It's a trend.
Wasn't around in the 80s. Not much just trickled. I don't know if I wanted to trickle in the first place. Trickle is a very touchy verb, but yeah, it hasn't trickled down much, and just the rich keep getting richer. But
you know what also is fascinating too as well is that a lot of these ownerships in these different sports are blaming the fact that the profits from the revenue of the baseball operations isn't enough. Now they need regional sports networks and other things to bring in money to justify them spending more dollars on the team, which I find fascinating.
Very, very fascinating. These poor people, how will they figure out where their meal's going to come from? Did you see Kim Kardashian's quote on the Call Her Daddy podcast? I wasn't watching, but she does not know the price of a gallon of milk, and she really wouldn't be able to take a guess. You know, when you're a billionaire, that stuff just doesn't even affect you. You got a person who has a person who goes gets you gallons of milk.
Well, let me tell you, Kim, lactose-free milk right now is $4.99.
Yeah, and Caputo's Fresh Market, you want a gallon of milk, $3.99. But I've been buying quarts.
That's pretty good.
I've been buying quarts, so it's like $2.99 for the country fresh or whatever.
Oh, I just get the 10-gallon.
Yeah. But yeah, weirdly enough, Steve Cohen, who spent all of this money, his net worth has increased by $7 billion since taking over the team. Just weird how that stuff works. But Colton, to your question, I, for one reason good, one reason bad, I think the Ishbias do have the type of money that Steve Cohen has, right? And if Steve Cohen's net worth has grown by $7 billion since buying the team, I would assume that the Ishbias will likely continue to grow their net worth. Once that net worth hits a certain point, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, unless you commit a crime, and then you have who's the people that own the Astros? Joe?
Oh, man, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on it. I'm sorry. I can look it up, though.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. That whole scandal in the 90s, right? That one company that really crumbled.
Well, they had Enron.
Enron.
They named this.
Enron.
They named the
Let's hear the
stadium.
Enron guys.
The stadium rights went to Enron. That obviously had to be stripped from that company. And
right. So
I don't remember the dude.
If it's an Enron situation, then we might be screwed. But they have a ton of money, and like Jerry's quote says there, new owners will emerge and try to outspend their peers. Justin Ishbia has enough money to run a baseball team.
That sounds like free market to me.
He's dying to own a baseball team. This man, I would love to buy my first house, right? I don't have the ability to put that down payment down. I just don't have that. Me, my wife, and I, we don't have that type of liquidity yet. Hey, maybe we'll get some help on a first-time home buyer from the bank, right?
You need
Justin
Monarch money.
Huh?
You need Monarch money.
Yeah, right. Justin Ishbia's bought all of Wilmette. And now he's buying a baseball team. Money really isn't an issue for this guy. I think that the want and desire is to outspend. The want and to desire is to put on a show. I think it's good that White Sox fans will get what they want. I think Jerry's not wrong that it's a little bit of bad. It won't be what kills baseball, but it's a part of it. It's really what will just kill America is just somehow these guys will just keep getting higher and higher net worths. And then we'll just keep looking at these contracts being they gave Juan Soto $700 million to play baseball. It's yeah, money does not make, money isn't real to these people. They can give baseball players billions to play baseball.
We've done this analogy before on the show, but if you could imagine Justin Ishbia with the Chicago White Sox is buying a house and a plot of land, and inside that house, the first thing that he's going to do is he has the liquidity to appreciate the value of the house by changing the foundation if he wants to, by getting a cool waterbed, above ground pool, whatever it is. On the other hand, former ownership or current ownership that will soon be former ownership has a house, is willing to do no renovations on it, and is trying to get the state to pay his mortgage by calling it a historical landmark, by also trying to convince them to buy him a new house right next to it, because the other one is now a historical landmark that I can no longer live in this analogy, so I need to move into a new house. That is literally the difference between what we're possibly looking at for Sox fans when Justin Ishbia takes over the team.
And the good thing is, we know this. History has told us. What do we know about Justin Ishbia when he has a neighbor and a house that he wants to buy? He buys it. All right, so I think we'll be fine. We'll take over. Okay, well, that's coming. But the issue I do have is, like, you see some issues developing with the Phoenix Suns. Matt Ishbia has not really been able to tame the issue that Robert Sarver has. There's been consistent litigation and allegations.
They've had HR problems, and they've had a lot of dollars spent, but they've been bad dollars spent, and that's going to be a conversation for another day. It's great to have those dollars, but then you have to spend them wisely. I think for Sox fans, we just want to have a couple dollars. Yes. We just want to have dollars to throw around.
And United Wholesale Mortgage doesn't have the best rap. United Wholesale Mortgage, again, when you acquire billions of dollars, it's not really the vibe. Okay, that's probably the worst way to frame it. But you could go watch. Pablo Torre finds out. He did 50 minutes on Matt Ishbia and Wholesale Mortgage. It's from about a year ago, and the description just reads: Matt Ishbia is a housing tycoon. He was supposed to insulate the NBA's house from disgrace, but eye-opening new reporting from investigating startup Hunterbrook Media alleges that Ishbia's company became the country's largest mortgage lender with a lie. Hunterbrook's Sam Koppelman examines how the owner's competitive management style parallels his approach to basketball, and why I think it will parallel again to baseball, and why Ishbia could even be forced to sell the Suns, while Pablo explores how Ishbia's childhood hero, Isaiah Thomas, fits into how both the Suns and United Wholesale Mortgage have been operating behind closed doors. But I think that you're going to see an aggressive owner. Jacob Ramey says he can't wait to find out what he does in 2034. I think we're going to see it sooner. It's a very weird ownership agreement that says 2029 to 2033. We just had Josh Nelson in here, and he said that he thinks it's going to be before 2029 as well. Again, when Justin Ishbia sees something that he wants, he'll buy it. I think this offseason it could be possible that Justin Ishbia just takes over. I guess that's what I'm kind of talking myself into. I didn't have this take 30 minutes ago.
Is it a fair timeline to say that?
That's a real podcast for you.
Is it a fair timeline to say the 2026 season will happen, the 2027 season, whatever we'll find out with labor strife, will eventually come to its conclusion, and then sometime after that, maybe within 6 months, an announcement will be made that there will be a transition between the 27, 28-ish area of Justin Ishbia taking
Someone asked up there about a strike. So I think just to play into your question, if you scroll up, I think if the question was, Goop asked, does the looming strike affect Ishbia timeline to take over? I
100%.
think that's what you're pushing towards.
I think so, 100%.
I think the reason why Jerry wants to hold on past the strike is because he wants to be in the room. Like, just one more time, to be honest. Like, hey, let's have another lockout. Like, he does this, every couple of years. Major League Baseball loves to have a lockout, loves to have a strike. I think Jerry Reinsdorf likes that arena. So I could see Jerry wanting to hold on to the team until the strike is over so that he could be in there negotiating and having, one last go at it. I think that's why you're also seeing him like plead for public money as well as, hey, maybe I can get one more stadium. That is what Jerry Reinsdorf, I think, has always wanted to do in life, is business deals. So, hey, let's work a deal on a stadium. Hey, let's work a deal in player labor, right? So I could see it affecting it. But at the end of the day, if you give a billionaire crack of a window open, at some point it's just going to be jarred open with a crowbar. At some point, I think Justin Ishbia and the Ishbias in general will just throw a bag at it. And I think they have. And I think they will consistently just say, what about this number? What about this number? What about this number? Hey, can we get you to sell for this number? Can we get you to sell for this number? Because the Wolves are already at the door. They're seated for dinner. Wolves aren't that patient. If Jerry Reinsdorf's just taking time making this meal, I think it's going to be way easier or way sooner than 2029 for the Ishbias to take over, which I think is a good thing and also a bad thing, but at least for White Sox possibly winning a World Series. Good thing. Yeah. What a way to end it. Put a stamp on that one.
I was going to say, let's go to break. Just a real quick flash of Manny Ramirez.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, remember
Will we
him?
talk about him later?
Oh, if you want to.
Okay. All right,
or maybe he'll make a spooky reappearance throughout the rest of the show. Only one way to find out, folks.
Let's take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. RC Cola. That jingle is now stuck in my head. It plays before every single CHGO Sports YouTube video, and I'm very happy because it means that when I go to work, I'm drinking RC Cola. Let's be real for a second. The world's gone soft. Everybody gets a trophy for just showing up. Soda used to have some kick. Now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz. RC Cola is not here for that. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RG is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. There's no trends, no gimmicks, and no glow-ups with RC. RC hasn't changed its stripes since 1905 because it didn't need to. It's the same bold, crisp flavor it's always been. And you know it's Chicago or for Chicagoans because when you walk into the right pizzerias, what do you see in the fridge? RC. Do yourself a favor, grab some RC at your local store, whether it's for games, fall events. RC is the move for whatever you're doing. And we want to let you know about our friends over at Ray CDJR. New vehicles are in store at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and
Ram.
And this is your chance to score a great deal at the Drive into Fall event. Head into Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodges, Jeepses, and Ram vehicles. Right now, get 0% financing for 7 months or 72 months available on new models, and you could shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 with a friendly team of brand experts. The team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey, and you could trust Ray. There's the race price promise. The price you see is the price you pay. You could shop confidently with our friends over at Ray CDJR. They are trying to get you into a car. It's simple. Don't miss out on the Drive into Fall event for huge savings on new model. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. We are back here on the CHGO White Sox podcast, and there are no dumb questions here in the CHGO White Sox chat. Jacob saying, can Ishbia spend even when Jerry is the owner? Sorry if this was touched on earlier. Again, I have like a very basic knowledge. I've read the press release. It's not like I am an expert on this. I understand it to the best of my abilities. I've had no conversations with people or anything like that. So what I understand is that Ishbia is helping the organization pay off debt right now, a.k.a. I think he's helping somewhat finance CHSN. The report from Sportico was that the brothers had single % interest in the White Sox. So what we knew was that like 35 to 40% of the minority stakes were purchased by the Ishbias. Other minority owners elected to hold on, and obviously I think Jerry has held on to the majority stakes. But Ishbia right now is helping them pay off debt. I really don't see him helping them like spend money in the way that you're thinking, like on free agents, until he has the true direction. Jerry, what he wants is the control. When this organization was set up, or at least when he bought the team in 1981 with Eddie Einhorn, there were two majority owners that led the group of minority owners. Eddie Einhorn and Jerry Reinsdorf balanced each other. Eddie Einhorn died. He gave Jerry Reinsdorf the majority. Jerry Reinsdorf does what the White Sox want to do. So it's not clear to me that, like, it's a no that can Ishbia even spend with Jerry the owner. It's not like a no. It's just that Jerry has to be convinced, and that I think is just a tree not worth barking up.
Right.
Like it is, but it's not.
And here's my elementary understanding, or maybe like my theory of how this stuff kind of works is like, so take, for example, what the Chicago Bears did. The Chicago Bears, all these leagues allow ownership teams to take on private money that aren't exactly angel investors, but they kind of are, where they can flush the ownership of the team or the franchise with new cash that can help pay for something else. As in, the Chicago Bears opened up some of their minority shares to get new money to hopefully build a new stadium. That money does not give you the right to then make decisions about your football or your baseball operations.
You're giving money to see a stadium built, and you're happy when a stadium
100%. Now, but not every deal doesn't come with some sort of version of assurance. So the Ishbias could, I'm not saying that it's likely, but the Ishbia or Justin Ishbia could easily say, well, I'm willing to put an X amount of dollars back into the team before I take over the baseball majority shares to help you with whatever you want, whether it is maybe debt, real estate or not, post-pandemic, or an RSN deal that didn't go great. But at the same time, Justin Ishbia could, in theory, ask for an assurance of, I want you to maybe spend an X amount of dollars on the team. My question that I would have with that is, why would he necessarily do that when he can't get the credit, when he can't have the fingerprints in the organization? Why wouldn't he just wait to spend his own dollars on something that he'll get credit for? That's my only leaning on that. But I could see them doing that of hey, I'll help you spend to build your new stadium, but I want you to sign Pete Alonso. You could probably do that, and it would get flushed through to the baseball side, but I don't know why Justin Ishbia would do that.
Yeah, I don't. Again, especially with the strike, I think that's the biggest halter of most conversations is
sure.
Even if he does want to hit the ground running, he's immediately going to be hit with a labor wall. You know, so even if
so
what you described that, right. It's until he takes over, I don't think we'll see the influx. Jacob saying seems complicated with a lot of eggs involved. Joey, how many eggs do you think are involved in this recipe?
Oh, at least more than a baker's dozen, there, Bob. Back to you.
I think about 13 to 33. You know, it's up there. Yeah, I feel like my brain after 36 minutes of talking about ownership is pretty fried. So yeah,
you need to pick me up.
A lot of egos involved. That's not even eggs. That's just egos.
I thought it was egos. There's a pick me up. There's people. Look at them in there.
Joey, why are you showing a picture of Manny Ramirez?
Because I'm trying to lighten the mood around here. I'm trying to pick you up.
Was he in the news today?
I don't know. Was he? Is he? You know what? He's a guy who I think is an open door of opportunity kind of guy. Am I wrong, Sean, or am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. Do we have a news sounder in there? Do we have what's the closest that we have to a news sounder?
Glockenspiel?
Yeah, party noisemaker.
It's actually, I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
It came from an anchor man.
Sure, that's fine. They'll do. I'm not mad. That's fine. John Heyman, Manny Ramirez is getting word out to all 30 teams. He'd love to serve as an MLB hitting coach. Quote, he wants to bring his greatness to teach the young guys, end quote. His agent, Hector Zepeda, said. Credentials, 555 home runs, a 312 batting average, and a 996 OPS. Yeah, buddy. What do you think? Manny Ramirez is the next White Sox hitting coach?
I don't know. What do I think about something like this?
Oh,
wow.
The only thing that I really want, and BPG says bring 99 home, the only reason I want this is that Manny Ramirez would just take batting practice again. If you're 81 games, Manny Ramirez is the hitting coach, and you just get 81 days of him taking BP. I love that Manny Ramirez is turning himself into Major League Baseball's Jaromir Jagr.
I mean, okay, okay, this is serious. I'm gonna give you a serious take on this one. Now we've seen this happen before, right? With high profile superstar type players in their post-playing career taking on hitting coach positions. Barry Bonds comes to mind. Mark McGwire comes to mind. Mark McGwire's probably worked out a little bit better than Barry Bonds, which I think crashed and burned. I don't want to make generalizations, but I will say that sometimes these superstar players that then become hitting coaches, they don't last very long, and I would probably have some skepticism and some questions about how hard is Manny Ramirez going to really drill into the coaching spot as the hitting coach of any team.
Well, hold on. I mean, do you not remember? I think you were here. Yeah. Do you not remember Luke Stuckmeyer's love of Sammy Sosa and Vidal Brujan, where I think Sammy Sosa talked to Vidal Brujan, and then Vidal Brujan hit a homer in a spring training game, and he's like, "That's the Sammy Sosa effect," if Manny Ramirez told me to hit a home run, I think I'm hitting a home run. There's some way that talent is going to rub off you, even though he might not have any ability to express it. I think it could be either the greatest thing to ever happen. I either think Manny Ramirez is the next Ted Williams, right? Ted Williams ends up being a hitting coach, and Ted Williams had some great thoughts on hitting. Like Ted Williams wrote books on hitting, and he was like a really well thought out thinker of hitting. He was always like, you got to hit line drives. Launch angle is a thing. You got to get the ball off the ground. You know, he wasn't all about like, you know, hit a fly ball every single time, Colson Montgomery, but hey, you know, let's put the ball in the air.
He was also like, can I tell you how I survived the war?
Yeah, right. Remember when I missed 2 years of playing baseball for the war?
Yeah, I hear you. I think like Manny was a fantastic hitter. Like whatever your opinions are on performance enhancing, whatever. I mean, Manny was an incredibly talented elite hitter for many, many, many years. And maybe you could make the argument that Manny Ramirez as the hitting coach could impart some pearls of wisdom. I would just say get yourself a backup plan and prepare for anywhere between 12 to 18 months after the day that you hire him. You might have to find somebody else, not because he's bad, but just because he might not be in it, or I just don't see it working.
We got two people saying, BPG and Randy saying, it's worth a try. I don't know. Maybe let like Colorado give it a shot. I don't know if I want the White Sox to hire Manny Ramirez. Maybe he's Dominican Ted Williams, right? Like maybe he'll be able to expound on hitting. But I think Manny, it was a lot about confidence. It was a lot about vibes. It was a lot about, you know, just getting after it. Like Manny never ever seemed to be like in shape. Manny just really seemed to like roll out of bed and hit the hell out of baseballs. And he was really good at it. And I also think that's why you saw like dips in his career. When he wanted to play, he was really good. Go look at the Mannywood. Right?
Oh boy,
the Mannywood days,
holy
right?
God,
go look at the White Sox and Tampa Bay Ray days. You could go look at the end of the Boston days. I don't know if that's a person that I could say he'd be a great hitting coach, because typically the greats aren't able to coach. They're not able to tell you what makes them great. They just went out and did it. That's why Ted Williams, I thought, was such like a kind of an exception, and why I'm bringing him up. Like Jerry West was a coach, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Magic Johnson was a coach several times. I mean,
true, Larry Bird,
Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird.
Michael Jordan, not a good coach.
No, I wouldn't do that. My first question in my interview to Manny Ramirez would be, we have a position open at like high single A or high double A. Do you accept? And if he says no, then forget it. Like if he isn't willing, like honestly, like no offense to Manny Ramirez, if he isn't really willing to like a lot of us in life, we've spent a lot of time talking about wealthy people on this podcast today. And if you're telling me Manny Ramirez can't even accept to maybe humbly begin at somewhere in the lower level of the minor leagues and work his way up to a major league hitting coach, then frankly, I'm not interested.
I don't want to play that game because Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina are being given handed jobs. So,
is that a good thing?
No, I'm not saying. Well, I'm just saying like I don't really want to like bash Manny for throwing his hat in the ring. I understand why this is coming from Manny Ramirez. I don't think he's like absurd to be throwing this out there. Yeah, you'd want him to like work his way up, but that's just not what it's going to happen or what would happen. I don't think he's going to get hired. But I don't see the Manny thing happening. I don't think typically the greats can coach. You know, those who can do, those who can't teach.
Am I right?
Can't teach Jim. Love School
Rock. Good call. Good job.
But I think you figured it out, Joey.
Let's rock today.
I think you figured it out. New Charlotte Knights manager Manny Ramirez. Sergio's gone. Let's get Manny in Charlotte. I think he'd do well there. Ashley said he could disappear in the middle of the game to go to the bathroom. It wouldn't be a game stoppage. You could just leave.
That's funny. Ashley.
The only time it's a game stoppage is if it's Jason Bourgeois and he's not out there to coach first. I think there was one other. Oh, the Ryan one. Hear me out. If he doesn't get hired as a coach, Mark DeRosa as a coach on the Sox. And then BPG says D-Row did lead the USA to silver. I would not like Mark DeRosa as a hitting coach. I think D-Row is in a nice little box right now.
He's making good money.
I think Mark DeRosa is in a really good diorama of baseball. And I'm not saying that Mark DeRosa doesn't know baseball, but I don't think that the World Baseball Classic is the same. I think it's really hard not to manage the USA baseball team to at least some medal at some point. I think it's really a shame if you don't. And whatever when I do hear him talking about baseball, like I like his enthusiasm. I just don't think that he is a modern day thinker of when it comes to baseball. And I also think D-Row would likely want to be a manager rather than a hitting coach. So I think if he was to make the jump, I think it would be to manager and skipping over the hitting coach stuff, where if you're asking me Will Venable or Mark DeRosa, give me Venable.
I feel like I know where this question is going, but I'm going to ask you it anyways. Before we get out of here, just really quick, I wasn't with you. I wasn't with the company when these rumors would swirl around. But what was your take on AJ throwing his hat in the ring with the manager back then? Similar to what your sentiments are for Mark DeRosa, like good ball player, good guy on TV. But
it's a little less because AJ is in a nicer way is talking about baseball a little bit more grittier. Like it's still a podcast that's funded well, I think by Fox Sports. But I think that I don't know.
Well, what was your take on it?
I wouldn't want
at the time?
AJ to be thrown. I didn't want AJ to be the manager.
Okay,
It
yeah,
seemed
that's
similar to just be like, oh yeah, make Dick a coach. Oh, we gotta bring back Ozzie. Ozzie's the only guy that can lead the White Sox to a World Series.
He's on like drive time radio shows pitching himself for the job.
Hold on, hear me out. Scottie Pippen is the coach. Michael Jordan is the owner. There's no way this could fail.
Cliff Levingston coaching the defense, coaching the bench.
I can't even bring up like a Chicago Sting reference. Like you can't even say like, who are we firing Greg Berhalter to bring back? That's when the joke gets good, right? Like, oh, you gotta fire Jeff Blashill. Time to bring back Keaton Seabrooks. Accent's on point today. Thank you, BPG. It's time to end the show, I think. Joey, thank you for sharpening my accent each and every day that you produce the show. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We appreciate you hanging out with us. I think that was mostly what I had for the week. Hopefully there's some White Sox news to talk about because I don't think Manny Ramirez will be the hitting coach. We'll have to figure it out. We'll see you on the next CHGO White Sox podcast. We talk about the White Sox, or at least mainly I talk about the White Sox here because it's my job. Thank you, Concerts.
We all silly like the mayor.